YouTube going live. I didn't realize it just captured my snapshot for my thumbnail. So whatever. All right. And Facebook is live. All right. Good. Makes it more worth it. When you add up all the devices over the censorship, you get like a couple people. That's fine. So what if I'm used to more? You sometimes it's quarantine. It's a new season for growth. Science. You just can't get me down because it's just not that big a deal. I'm gonna get my message out and business is happening. It's coming. Doesn't matter. Okay, we'll get started in a minute, everybody. Everything's coming online. Just gonna grab my kombucha and then we'll get started. What's up, Yudge? I remember you from India. Good to see you're still on it. All right. We'll do one more sick kick. Right here. Yeah, fidget spinner. Here we go. All right. We'll get started in a second. You're going to be excited. You're really going to appreciate being here if you stay. Don't tell me you ain't seen it all the signs. You keep holding out the things that only play out in your mind. I'm glad we had this talk cause I've been holding it inside. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until we die. We spinning around in circles on our hands. You don't love me. You don't love me. You must be crazy if you think I'm waiting. Na 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 na. I know you'd love it if I told you I would stay. Na 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 na. And in my black heart, I just want us to end. You don't get the call, girl. I don't need your love to the cold, girl. Even if you're thirsty, I'm at your water. I don't wanna yell this time, so I know it's true. You need to go your way. I got you, please find a brighter day. All right, come back. One love. One love. Why don't you ever call me One Love? You left me hanging like that. You just send me these hearts on Instagram like I'm supposed to feel something with that. I don't feel nothing with that. Empty hearts, One Love. They're just floating away, just like the hearts on Instagram. That's how I feel about you. I'm floating away from you. You're losing me. Come visit. All right. Let's spread some goodness, y'all. Here we go. Trace, due, uno. Welcome to Science of Spiritual Growth. Hella censorship happening on me at this moment, and that's great. So we're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, and the Zoom recording, so you're catching the recording on wherever you're catching it, Spotify, everywhere. It's everywhere. So subscribe if you're catching the recording. If it's live, share it. I want to talk about why so serious? Funny. Am I serious? I didn't know that. If you think this is serious, man, you don't know what it takes to get a PhD. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it takes to go from being a zero, negative 100 at wrestling to state champion, All-American, ranked, just whooping ass. Best, most pins on the University of Oklahoma wrestling team. Do you know that? It's like the 5th or 6th most decorated wrestling team in history. and I had, on my final season, the most pins on the team. And I still had one more season. I just quit with one more season to do. Anyway, which is kind of why I finished a PhD. 0 to a hero and beyond. We're going hero to legendary. We're going legendary. And then after we go legendary, then we're going mythical. We're going to be a myth. And that's fine. Everybody around me, we're going to be myths. And some will last. Some will tell our story. Even I'll tell my story. But, you know what they say. But I don't want to get into it. You should just call me, and I have something to tell you about the Yoga Sutras. It's a little known about the Yoga Sutras. If you're still into yoga. I don't know if you're still into yoga. Yudge, good to see you again. Okay. So what I titled this episode was Word Algebra and Your Emotions. Why? Because it's a teaching from Arash Zapar Dibazar. I will be a myth. Mo, I believe it's possible. I believe it's possible. I don't know what you're studying, but I believe it's possible. But I would recommend get on board even more. I don't know if you're studying the lectures also. You should be studying my lectures. Let me know, and I'll send you which ones you should study. Different from what your wife studies. So, censorship. And what was I saying? Word algebra and your emotions, okay? So, words... What am I going to say that's going to make sense to you? It's going to sound too outlandish. Like, literally, you need to listen to many lectures, not because you got to get brainwashed or some shit. That's stupid. You're not stupid. But because the framework of perceiving reality, look at this old yoga guy. It takes a long time to get good at this stuff. You're not just going to hear it once and get good at it. Even if you have realization, you're like, oh, yeah, like you're not getting it. I've been there. I've seen dozens of other people be there. You get the realization. It's not an integrated experience. Like, you're getting it, but that's good, because that still puts you in minority. A lot of people, they're so clouded, they can't even get it. Or it's just that different time. You know, sometimes how you have a bad time communicating. I might have a bad attitude. Sometimes I don't communicate as well. Well, people afford people the possibility that they're having a bad time listening. We all have bad times listening too. So, word algebra. Okay, teaching from Arash Zapar Dibazar. And, I mean, that's just the concept. I don't remember what he said on it. I wrote it down somewhere in the mentorship notes. A 215-page document that I typed up. It was the notes for like 350 lectures or so. It's great. The book will free you tremendously and give you tools like what I'm talking about right now. The word algebra. So when you come to a resolution to resolve something in a communication, is to neutralize the energies. And the energies are either positive or negative, because there's a baseline. It's in reference to something. You could say all energy is positive from the baseline of a dead universe. But that's not a useful baseline, really. There's actually there's a different baseline. So there's a positive and negative. And when there's an unresolved in a communication, the equation of the communication is not at zero energy. The words and tonality, everything, the communication of it. But if you just take the words, let's just say we all authentically communicate and we accurately communicate, the words will have a charge, and it'll create or destroy whatever is already being perceived, which is relative to that baseline of what was being thought about, positive or negative. And if you're feeling negatively about a communication, which almost always, if you're feeling negative, it's because a bad communication happened in the past. It's L. Ron Hubbard. So you just think of, who was I talking to that fucked this up? It was the communication that was fucked up, not their fault or your fault. I mean, ultimately you take responsibility, but how you're feeling about that afterwards, you can think of it, and it's accurate and useful to think of it as the words added up to some kind of negative charge based on what I was expecting to happen or wanted to happen, and how I'm perceiving it to be. It's negative. So there's more words that need to be added to come back to a neutral energy, how you feel about it. Because even the positive energy, if it keeps you clinging to the idea, the memory, then You don't want to be attached either way. You can carry the residue of the good feeling forward, and that's what we do. And to the degree that you carry it with you, or the degree that you drop it, that's a different sense. The ability to drop a thought about emotion that you created, versus the environment stimulates you, and you have a reaction, a body reaction that you're feeling. Okay, so just like how that's happening, where you create a good feeling from your actions, or you're re-stimulated a feeling from the outside, a communication can leave you with a positive or negative feeling. And there may be more words needed, so you can think, what needs to be added? What do I need to say? Or what would I need to hear sometimes can help direct what you say next. What do I need to hear for this to even out? And look for that will be a way out of any kind of bound up communication. You're looking to solve an equation. The words are numbers or they're math functions, and it may be way more complex than just simple algebra of 1, 2, 3, 1, the digits 0 through 9, plus, minus, divides, multiply. Whatever the symbols in math are, words are even more complicated. But very exact words, and then how they enslave people, how they slave. I just turned slave into a verb. How you enslave people is to give them wrong definitions of words, misguides them. What is goodness? What is badness? You see that happen with, here, I'm about to get hacked, pedophilia. What the fuck is pedophilia? The love of children? Fuck that word. That's a wrong word. It's not the love of children to molest a person that can't give consent, that's completely dependent on you and clear and impressionable and has very little defense, if any, really, to an adult. That's not love of children, so don't call it pedophilia. It's peda-hatred. It's peda-evil. Wrong definitions. Feminism, the isms of the feminine. What was originally defined as the isms of the feminine is now the fighting for the equality of genders. Where the fuck did feminism become a fighting for equality of genders? That's not an ism of the feminine. That's an ism of the socialism. That's the ism of the communism. That's the ism of the rulers on the slaves. The rulers would want the men and women to be equal. Because there's nothing more powerful, or there's nothing more dangerous than a powerful man that has a woman and his child to protect. His woman and his child to protect, that man's got a lot to fight for. And he'll die for that woman and child, but don't take away his woman and child, and then he's still going to be thinking about, well, I'll get a woman and child if I do this battle. But if you take away any possibility of woman or child, then you're going to have a hard time. What's he going to be fighting for? His brothers? I mean, along the way there is the women and children. And if there wasn't, then what are you fighting for, really? Maybe it would be to beat out the other tribe that has women. That's what a lot of wars, tribal wars, were about, was resource and women, land and women. Women. Actually getting women as a resource. That's what a lot of tribal warfare is about. And there's a lot of stealing people from each other's tribe. You just kidnap them. But people means women. You kidnap women and girls. So that happened through evolutionary time. This is getting to be a different subject. Word algebra. Okay? And it's very complex even for what I was just talking about, because the layer and level of consciousness that I'm talking about when I'm talking about tribal kidnapping women and whatever, that's very deeply ingrained in your genetics. And even if it maybe hasn't happened in your direct bloodline in the last 500 years, maybe, probably more recent than that, but it was through all of human history of your bloodline, however long human history is, that it's in your nature to, let's say, fear being alone, to fear not having a man to protect you, to fear a new strange man, or a group of men that you're not familiar with. It's actually off code to be totally comfortable with strange men. And it's ignorant of men to not perceive this in women, this natural inborn fear that she's supposed to have because it's what made her ancestors survive. The ones that didn't have the fear, they may have survived, but they would have survived maybe by being kidnapped or something like that. Like, a beautiful woman will survive. Like, even the opposing king doesn't want to kill the women, the most beautiful women. Like, just take them. You know, they survive. That's why women switch sides. So this is a different topic than word algebra. But knowing that layer of consciousness to be able to, you can resolve energies in your woman. You can resolve her energies, actually balance energies in her that she's unaware are flowing. She's so habituated to them. It's like a tension pattern. You forget, you don't even know that it's happening because you just lived with it always. That you could, as long as you can remember. But if you can remember more timelessly, people like that, women especially, love to say, and fucking gay boy, spiritual fucking boys, whatever, love to talk about past lives. If you went back into past lives, you would definitely have a deeper understanding of male-female dynamics because you're somehow operating off of nature's code. You're all about these fucking dumb, spiritual, fucking snob feminist women and men. It's embarrassing to say that there's any men that are feminists. But I mean, I'm a true feminist. I make women more feminine. I study the isms of the feminine. Definitely a feminist philosopher. Not like fucking BLM and those feminist faggots. It's not feminism. It's anti-feminism. Anyway, wrong definitions. It's how you enslave a society. And this is why I would get censored. Because Instagram, Facebook, these elites that own those companies and develop those companies are involved in the control of mass population. Their decisions influence millions or billions. That's a lot of power. If you just have one girlfriend or one child and your words influence them so much, you start to recognize power. Now, 10 people, how many people do you employ? I have a friend that employs 140 people. Like, what he says moves material. It moves energy. What if you were the president of the United States? What if you were the silent ruler of Walmart or something? Like, nobody hears from these people. Your decisions move so much. It moves so much attention. It moves so much consumerism, energy, resource flow. Fuck, man. Mining materials from the earth, like killing cows, like whatever. So much. Your power is tremendous, and that shouldn't be ignored. That it's just their words. They're just 2 arms, 2 legs, breathing system, eating, shitting, fucking, sitting, walking. They're just like you and me, but they're words. Now, if their words don't deserve that, according to the logic of the structure of our matrix and the universe, then they'll descend. That'll be like a child that inherited wealth, doesn't have the language to rule that power, to conduct them that level of power. And so they descend. Versus the person that, let's say, is from the bottom and learns the language to ascend in the right context to the right people. It's all just algebra of words. And so you can sit and imagine and visualize your outcome and do all this fucking nonsense, feel the outcome, law of attraction, which is great. But if you don't have the communication of the outcome, then you'll be frustrated. And you're just trying to feel your way to, some kind of climax. It's like spiritual masturbation, these fucking dumb people. All right. I will be with any communication, guys. Bring it back towards me because it's one-way flow right now. Overcome censorship. Fucking shadow banning. Instagram, thank you. Instagram, you allowed me these viewers. You fucking Nazis. We need a new app. I'll design a new app. It'll be telepathy. Join the silent flute, everyone. I'll teach you telepathy. Okay, all these notifications coming in. Word algebra. I don't even think I got to the point. What was it? Where am I streaming at? Right here. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up here. Word algebra. So the layers of beingness, let's say a deep male-female relationship, a cultural relationship with people, you can resolve energies, or unresolved energies are unresolved communications. That's what they are. Just think of it like that. And if you use that as a datum, you'll do better. If you use as a functioning, I want to use a different word than datum, like a rule of the program. Let's say this is a virtual reality. It's a computer program. A rule of this program is that, how the communication is algebra back and forth that solves equations. And when you need to resolve a communication, it's because the math is off. The numbers are imbalanced. The charge, which is the numbers represent the charge. Okay, how do you get more sensitive to this? Is it positive or negative? This is the silent flute. How do you become aware of words? This is the silent flute. Like, this was a high-level podcast, but imagine if I went another 30 minutes, it clears up more. And then when I combine it with breathing practices and some mantra practices, you get more clear on words. And then when you, like me, go through oscillations, fucking lunar oscillations, interactions with people, women especially, clients, but definitely women, when what they say, unbeknownst to you, has some effect on your system, so later you're feeling a way about it, you can resolve it through communication with them, through communication with yourself, through just knowledge of communication, and body awareness and body sensitivity. What's a key element to improve your word algebra? I just gave it. The key element, it's the mindfulness that you bring to it, which is an awareness, which needs to come through higher knowledge. And that's what I teach in podcasts. This is what I teach on the silent flute, is higher knowledge. And, this is just some free shit that I cut you guys off intentionally. I want to teach you. It just, this is not teaching. It should be entertaining, and it should be informative and a little bit educational. But mostly I want it to be entertaining. That's why I play music at the beginning. That's why I change my voice to keep your attention. Right? Okay. So I'm not seeing any other engagement from the audience, so we'll just call it there. Appreciate you all spending your Thursday evening, at whatever hour it is, to where you are, to be here. Click that subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Jason, you just added. Maybe now I should open it up for any questions. It's funny, I just ended that meeting. Jason Phillips came on. Yeah. Go ahead and leave. I want you to leave. Fucking leave. I'm going to keep it on and see if there's any questions. I'm even going to open up the meeting again and see if Jason Phillips is still on. Even though I cut the Facebook stream, so he's not going to be. So, Mr. Robles, yeah. Mr. Robles, come to base 1. I don't know what you're doing wherever you are. It's unacceptable. Rose, I forgot your Instagram name. Call me right now. I'm in the mood to talk. Make some time. Step outside. Don't send me hearts. Send me a fucking dial. And dial it with your butt. So pick up your leg, touch your butt with your phone. I want you to dial it that way. Dial me. ASAP. RN. That means right now. In word acronyms. Okay? All right. So anything else, guys? No? Just go ahead and do that.